Pregame.tv, the boys are back in town, and they've got to be feeling that way in the Bayou. Little Cajun cooking, wasted year for the New Orleans Saints, worrying about whether they're going to be going into lawsuits, be arrested for Bountygate. It's all over, baby.
It's done.
It's the Major League Baseball. Those are the guys that are sweating out whether they're going to be called in front of Congress. Everything's looks free and clear.
In New Orleans.
And last time I checked, those Saints were Steve Fezzik's highest rated NFL power rating team at the end of 2011 when Alex Smith led his team down and they went ahead.
They were mine as well.
They scored at San Francisco, heading to the NFC title game.
At home.
And then, that Vernon Davis guy caught a 60-yard pass. And
that was it.
And that was it. But it was excusable loss in 2011.
Yes, it was.
And obviously on a neutral site, they win that game. They were the best team that year in the NFL.
Bar none.
And a wasted year is over. What happens this year?
They return to prominence and they return to the Super Bowl. I already released the New Orleans Saints.
The Super Bowl.
To win the Super Bowl, the NFC representative. I already gave that out last week. I really do think they will return to the Super Bowl. But even easier than that is going over in season wins. Right now, you could get 9.5 minus $1.20. This is an 11-win team.
Still get 9 over 50.
At worst.
Yeah.
At worst. Here's the thing. Throw last year out. They started 0-4 and never recovered. Leading up to last season.
Lost to the Chefs.
Exactly.
Kansas
City.
Listen, at home. They're up 24-6. You remember that game, Brian?
Leading up to that season, Steve.
Fake it.
3 years, they had won 41 games, okay? This team was just peaking, and getting better, and better. It wasn't like that a one-year wonder type of thing.
Jimmy Graham dunking, getting this high above the goalpost.
At 120%. What did I tell you is when I first came in, that spoke to my most knowledgeable Saints follower, fan, that even tells me when not to bet them. When not to bet them. Like, may not fade them.
Right.
Don't fade them, but if doesn't like them 1 week, says don't bet them. That's the kind of person that I like to listen to. Not someone that's just going to bet them every week. Mm-hmm. But word at a training camp is...
Like a Kansas State fan.
No, but nobody would do that, would they?
No. Word at it... Yeah, there... You think?
Focus. Okay.
Focus. Word at a training camp, Graham playing at 120%. The Vaccaro kid on defense is a beast. Ryan loves him. Peyton loves him. And that's exactly what they needed on the defensive side of the ball.
They had a historically bad defense.
But they're switching from a 4-3 to a 3-4. Now all of a sudden, you put the emphasis on the linebackers and not all up front. That's where they were weak.
I had a mental
in the secondary.
Guy from Shippenberg. I don't know why.
In the secondary, you go out and you grab a Pittsburgh Steeler as well. I mean, this defense is going to improve. That's a given. Offensively, we don't even have to talk about it. When you look at their backfield, you got a Heisman Trophy winner back there. You have 3 running backs.
I don't even know if Mark Ingram's going to be starting for this.
Exactly. Yeah. You have 3 running backs.
They're all good.
That could play anywhere. You got wide receivers that are able to stretch the field. You got one of the best tight ends in all football, and you have probably the best or top 3 quarterbacks
and
in all of the NFL.
Was hurt all last
5,000 yards for the 3rd time. And last year, the problem was they couldn't run the football. The year the Saints won the Super Bowl, the year, like you mentioned, that they lost to San Fran when they were going to get to the Super Bowl, they were always top 5, top 6, top 8 rushing the football. Mm-hmm. Last year, they were at the bottom running the football. That's not going to happen this season. They're going to be able to run the ball successfully. I see the offense getting back to where they were, but it's the defense that's going to be the difference maker.
The offense was still quite good last year.
Exactly, regardless. But when you know any defensive coordinator doesn't have too much trouble preparing for a team that's going to drop back and pass 50 times.
Yeah.
When you have no running game at all. I think once you add that to the mix like they were able to do, that's what made them so dangerous in 2011. That's what made them – and toss in the strongest home field advantage, I think, in all of the NFL. No, not even close. Not number 1 home field advantage in all of the NFL.
Ever watched a game?
Bar none.
Ever watched a game in Seattle?
Bar none.
Ever go to Seattle?
Bar none.
Get some coffee.
It isn't the home field advantage in Seattle. It's the travel.
That counts as part
to
of it.
Seattle. But I'm saying, as home field
But you
advantage.
do have to travel, right?
Exactly. But I'm saying home field advantage,
All right.
stadium.
Okay. All right.
What I'm saying about Seattle is
sans the travel.
If you had a bye week, and you're going to Seattle, the home field advantage wouldn't be as strong as it would be going to New Orleans.
They're just going to kick these dirty birds' butts week one.
The
money is
all over. I already laid it. Lay it.
No, that opened
lay 2.5. Lay 3.
It was 1.5 at Kansas.
I got 2.5. I laid 2.5.
And I bet the crap out of it.
Bet Saints
I said, why
week
didn't I bet
1.
more? And then
Statement game against Atlanta. Statement game against Atlanta.
Brian's being very quiet.
I'm just too hyped. I already talked about it.
You haven't even got to the point where you
I already talked about it because I did it on my. I did it on my Super Bowl. I did it on my Super Bowl.
I know we all saw it.
So I don't have to break it down.
I agree with everything you've said. My only problem is 6 weeks ago we talked about this game between Steve and I when the line was a lot better at that point.
Week 1, you mean?
No, the line for the entire season. It was 9. It was 9 at that point. So basically, at this point, you're paying what you would pay at 9 earlier. And this has been a very popular play. I was just in Hilton 2 days ago, and if memory serves me right, which may not be, but I thought it was 9 minus 200. There's a lot of money coming in on the Saints here.
There's still 9 minus 50s. You can still get 9 minus 50, and I'll come over the top and say, 3 weeks from now, Kenny White will be doing a video, and he'll be discussing how the Saints are 9 minus 200 everywhere.
But I just wanted to point out there was better value then, but I still like the play. But that's part of what we do. We not only have to give out what we like, but we have to tell people how to bet it. So if you're liking these NFL season wins, do your work ahead of time. Get the best number. I mean, how many NFL season wins you guys probably got out already?
Yeah, no, I agree.
I agree. So even though I like your play,
40?
People that were up on the Saints and knew how good they were going to be got a lot better.
I agree with that reasoning, but I think recreational bettors, because I hear it tossed around too much, getting the best of the number, getting the best of the number, getting the best of the number. Here's the thing. It's what's your true line compared to what the line is. To me, that's the best of the number. Sure, sometimes you want to lay minus 6.5 instead of laying 7. But if you make the game 10, what's wrong with laying 7?
Brian said it best. Also, beating the closing number. It's fine if you lay 6 on a game that was 3 that closes 8.
Exactly.
And to be honest with you, I'm not saying it based on you, but Steve and I, for the Tuesday meeting for years, have gone back and forth on this kind of thing.
I hate this example because I'm wrong.
Well, Steve would say, I could have had 3. I'm not laying 3.5. And I says, yeah, but it's going to close 5.
Exactly.
And we've come to more of an agreement now. So we've had our own situations with this. So even though you do miss the opener, doesn't mean it's a bad bet.
Right.
I just wanted to point out
that there was a better number.
There's been a lot of money put on
I like
this.
to compare it to stock. Sure, if you could get Google for $200, you got it a steal. But if you could get it for $400, you're still going to buy it. You're not going to buy it if it's $1,000. You're not going to make money at
I hear
$1,000.
they're coming out with a better iPhone even tomorrow. I'm going to get one. One real important point. This is critical, I think, in the analysis of this. We talk about art and science. The math geeks are going to dislike this play strongly. The metric guys are going to plug in all the numbers, and they're going to say, oh, well, New Orleans is a terrible, historically bad defense, and how much can they improve? And there's no way they should be at 9.5. But they're wrong. They're wrong. And the reason they're wrong is, you know what they should do with that
That's
data?
why they don't have money. That's why the math geeks don't have money.
They got a lot of these guys have money. You see all this data?
There's a lot of these guys have money.
2012? That's what you should do with the data, because these guys were worried about being arrested.
Exactly.
They were worried about the FBI knocking on their door.
Not about winning football games.
Throw it in the garbage can.
Not about winning football games.
They're going to go back to having a slightly... Probably
they didn't even have a head coach.
They're going to have an average defense and the best offense in the league, and they're going to win.
That's all it takes.
Games.
That's all it takes.
Make it official.
Thank you. Last year, the Saints had a defensive coordinator that never even coached defense. No position on the defensive side of the ball. So throw all that out. They started off 0-4 last season. They were worried more about Bountygate, like Steve touched on, than winning football games. This is the Saints of 2011 with an improved defense. All word coming out of training camp, been confirmed. They are ready for this season. You have a motivated Saints team. And to me, that's as dangerous as it gets. Look for Payton, Sean Payton, that is, to get back to the Super Bowl and have Roger Goodell hand him the Super Bowl trophy right there in front of everyone. I can't wait to see it.
I like it.
I can't wait to see it. I will be in New Orleans after they win the Super Bowl.
We have a consensus, and you're going to get anyone who's signed up for VR's premium plays, you'll get them a little late that morning when he's down there. Stay with us at pregame.tv. Hey, we'll be breaking down what's next on our list here.
I think that's it.
Oh, no, we've got a prop bet. I love this prop bet. It's a William Hill prop bet on are we going to get an NFL team that's going to go 14-2, 15-1, or 16-0. Stay tuned. I'll tell you whether we'll have one or not. Pregame.tv.